Hi guys, Randall here. Today I want to show you my Earth team in Arena. It's a team that I've been using in Guild Battle with relative success, which really surprises me because Guild Battle is kind of light and lightning supremacy right now. So if we end up fighting a guild with a lot of lightning, this does fantastic and it butchers them. But it also works fairly well against light, and this is what we'll be doing today. All our fights are going to be against mono light teams because it is the one strongest thing in the current meta, right? And our team is composed of Noctis, Mont normal version, and Oberon. Why Mont? Because with his second mastery ability, he has some hate, and he is incredibly tanky. Look at that, 10,000 HP, 1100 attack, 69 defense for those physical attacks, still a little bit of spirit, and then he has a 28 single target resistance because of Pod and the Electric Raz Vision card. So he's pretty hard to kill. And he's just going to rely on that Init 5 hate to draw the first couple hits, and then the other guys have enough damage to kill the enemy team very, very fast. Our other team members are Noctis, who will use bells. I really wish the map allowed him to use his ability that's Power of the True King, because that allows him to pop Courage with a hit or kill the re-raise unit when it comes back, but the map doesn't allow it, and he needs bells to function in this way because he's one of our primary damage dealers. Then we have Oberon as a duelist. Oberon is built to be very, very accurate, so he's got an Alexandrite ring, he's got Titan, and then he's got the Nightblade Mastery passive for some extra accuracy. So we just went all in on that, and hopefully he can land his hits without using Thunder Smite, that is his guaranteed hit. Thunder Smite is a really good ability, but it has a pretty awkward targeting. So if we take a look at it, it's only a line attack. I would love for him to be able to use his other great abilities that can hit in different angles, especially his Limit Break. So if he's able to hit reliably with very high accuracy, he is a monster. And why do we use Kane's TMR? Because more often than not, those light units are very fast, and they're going to be faster than him, which leads to an interesting mechanic. They play first, and they advance. He plays, uses this, and advances. Because he's now hasted, he plays next, so he pretty much always gets the first hit on his enemies. And he often kills with it. So if he kills them, he's going to pop Courage, or pop Re-Raise, or just straight up take out an enemy member because he gets the first hit. So it has worked very well for me. Now, before we hop into some fights, let's show you quickly our abilities on-off. So Noctis has Point Warp off, otherwise he would just be buffing instead of doing other stuff. Then as a Spellblade, I have turned off, again, Resist Magic. For the same reason, it just doesn't work in this map, because he'll be buffing instead of anything else. So this is how he's currently set up. Mont, in his case, doesn't have that many abilities turned off. I turned off Beastbreaker because it's useless, Jamming Edge as well, and Discipline. And then as a Paladin, if it ever loads, I have turned off Divine Grace because it's a very risky move to have. It's an AoE buff, he's going to use it first. And I have everything else except Saintly Healing on. Then finally, we can take a look at Oberon. He is one of the hardest ones to tune because he just never uses his barrier. So I turned off the Purple Dragon's Providence because it puts his barrier a little bit higher in the priorities, and also Banner of the Dragon is off. So because of that, what he does in terms of buffs is going to be Dragon's Pride first, followed by his barrier. Hopefully he gets both off. Enough talk, let's fight. So let's go against Definition, a typical evasion setup where they have pretty much all the offense they can want because they're running 3 attackers, no tank. So we'll see who dies first, their squad or ours. Now, I've practiced this in the Guild Battle map, which gives us more time to buff, and it's definitely in the Earth team's advantage to buff for longer, because Oberon has a crazy good barrier, and then Noctis will use Power of Kings, which is super impactful, and Mont has time to use Courage, right? All buffs that we want. But this enemy light team is faster than us, and will get more chances to use their buffs if they close in too quickly. So we'll see what happens. First, Jayden decides he's going to be shooting very early on. Elena uses Courage. We do have time to use bells on Noctis, which is a good thing, but then he rushes forward, so he immediately puts himself in danger. Boon of the Phoenix does give a re-raise to Locke, which isn't great, and Mont has Courage. Okay, everybody did their setup. Thunder Smite from Oberon pops the enemy Locke immediately, but re-raise makes it so that he doesn't really care, and then Jayden immediately begins hitting our Mont, who will take Prismatic Punishment as a follow-up. I'm kind of happy about this one, because she's wasted her AoE ability immediately, so that is definitely good for us. Now, I kind of wish Noctis had more AP, because he would have, he had his Arminger buff, because that would have killed Jayden instead of just dealing damage, but it's fine. We take a limit break from Locke and then take him out, so that's one enemy down. We are going to take another hit on Mont right before he goes, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but at least he's not done yet. The enemy team is grouped, so Noctis is able to Skyhammer the two of them. Again, if only he had used Arminger, he would be fine, but he'd also be out of AP, so gain for a loss here. Elena will probably be able to finish one of our two units, but she won't be able to survive the final hit. So while it is a very close fight, it is one we managed to win, so not too bad. This time the setup is a little bit different. We have Starlit Elena on the other end, and instead of Jayden, it's an Engelbert, which is very scary. Now, that only gives them, you know, one physical tank. I feel like it's fine, especially because Engelbert is very resistant to slashing attacks, but we have a lot of slash resistance penetration. We have missile attacks, piercing attacks, so many different types of damage woven in that I don't think he's going to resist the damage that well. Let's see what happens. I also enjoy the fact that they have one less damage dealer because it will actually matter in many scenarios. The fact that the light teams chain together so well is one of the things that makes them so dangerous. So if for some reason we can avoid getting chained, it's going to be a pretty huge edge. So immediately Locke begins with AP Haunt. No re-raise on him, so that is a pretty huge thing for me. Then Oberon uses his haste, which allows him to now go before Elena, so he'll get the first hit off. Enemy Engelbert has courage, starts walking to the other guys, and Oberon drops the LB. I really hope he hits, because that is not his guaranteed hit move, but let's see. Yup, so immediately kills Elena, who did not have time to use courage. She's down. Noctis is going to move on to Engelbert, which isn't great. But meanwhile, one of the enemies is out of AP. Oberon's going to use his barrier. We have hate on Mont. I don't see how we could lose this at that point. Elena not using her courage on turn 1 definitely played to our advantage. So a basic attack from this guy. Retribution Drain hits surprisingly hard, but it doesn't really matter. Oberon takes him down, and then Noctis can move onto Locke with his guaranteed hit. Locke then takes a stone to the face, dies, and did not use re-raise, so he's down for the count. Now this one is very interesting. Unfortunately, the Locke is not max level, but they have a Yuna, which kind of changes things. Our team is really good at tanking slashing attacks, but do they handle these magic types attacks as well from Yuna? Or will she just be healing and make us run out of guaranteed hits? Because that's also a possible challenge we have. We have 3 casts of Thunder Smite, 3 casts of Skyhammer, and 99 casts of Stone Throw, but we could eventually be out of guaranteed hits. Especially if Mont dies early. The one thing that really helps us in this scenario is that Oberon is accurate enough even without Thunder Smite, so in most cases he should be able to land hits if he can get a side attack or a back attack, but I could also be surprised. And you know what? Never mind me, I thought this Locke was not maxed out, but all he has that's not maxed out is his level, because he does have his 120 ability already. So let's see what happens. We have 1 extra life on Mont. The re-raise on the enemy Starlit Elena means we have to kill her twice, so that is definitely not sexy. Thunder Smite from Oberon pops the first life on Locke, so that is 1 down. And then we're going to use Skyhammer on the backline, which is kind of a wasted ability here, because we have used one of our guaranteed hits on a target that can... we don't have to use it on, basically. Fortunately for us, Mont has hate, which immediately draws the prismatic punishment, so that part is really good for us. He takes 3 hits, he's still very healthy with courage. Yuna probably going to heal herself before we can do anything, but one of the enemy members is dead. Let's see what happens next. I figure Starlit Elena has to waste at least 2 more turns trying to get our Mont. So that is 1, doesn't even pop courage. Wow, that Mont is a tanky boy. So now that Noctis can reach with another ability, he is able to do significant damage. Halting Spear pops Elena, who has the re-raise, so comes back. Apparently she did not use courage. I'm not sure what I missed there, but here we go. A guaranteed hit from the back, and she's dead as well. Here's another one that's interesting. It's also Locke, Elena, and Jayden, but this time the Jayden's on the end side where Oberon is, and I feel feel like that's going to be to our advantage, but I'm not that sure. So what could work very well is, as per usual, Jayden uses bells, starts running forward, then Jayden uses his haste, laps the enemy Jayden playing twice in a row, and just one punches him before he does anything. Because Jayden doesn't have 2 lives, unlike the other person, that it's going to immediately turn into a 3v2, and then we should be able to win. What I am scared of, though, is that Elena and Locke are grouped together at the start, which means they will chain off each other, and with this, they will be able to remove people from our side of the battlefield very quickly. Apparently, bad scenario, our Oberon was faster than the enemy Jayden, so he does get shot very quickly. That is not what I hoped would happen. He will still have a chance to hit, though, because the attack was very weak from Jayden, so Jayden is dead. Now, ooh, not great. Elena was not in range to reach Mont, so she LBs our Noctis instead. Noctis goes down. At that point, I believe this immediately turns into a loss, because I'm not sure how we could potentially kill them all with only Mont and Oberon. Hopefully they're going to surprise me, though, so there we go, a couple hits on Mont, they're starting to build a chain, Locke plays again because he just plays infinitely, and then we drop the limit break from Oberon in the back. That is really good. Locke does not have re-raise because he hit us from his turn 1. So he just goes down, and Oberon doesn't miss either of the attacks, so he's able to pop Courage on Starlet Elena as well. Now she's going to pop our Mont's Courage, and then he's going to toss a stone to her face and just finish her off. Mont really is broken. So this is it. I've tried this team in Arena 5 times. The first fight, I did not have the AI set up properly and I got completely destroyed. And then ever since I've had this specific setup, you've seen me tackle 4 teams in a row without adjusting anything on my end, and we just won all of them. So is this team really good? I think it is, honestly. I think it's a strong team. It's also fun and unconventional. We're just spamming guaranteed hits on evasion build units, so we are abusing their one weakness, the fact that if they don't dodge, they die. But I think this is a pretty impressive setup, and it actually does work for me in guild battle as well, which is surprising for now. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back soon with some other funky-ish teams.